And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, with the show that's kicking off the new decade with not only roundhouse kicks, but ways to help you relax in rush hour traffic, only known as Music Village. And the best way for you to relax is to lay off the horn when you're driving. Cause trust me, blowing the horn in your car is not gonna make the traffic go any quicker, let me tell you. I've seen it happen many a times before, it just makes them go even slower. So maybe listen to some cool tunes, or even listen to somebody who makes you laugh. Like me, for example. And no, Maestro, I'm not doing a traffic advertisement while I'm doing the show. You know what? I think I am. You might be right on that. Well, besides traffic advertisements, folks, I'm looking at my watch right now. Oh, for the first time for the new year, it's just about that time. It's the witching hour, which means it's time for us to be brought up to speed on news stories that happened from this week from, you guessed it, all around the world. And in another 6 more episodes, we'll have to find Scott Clark from Eyewitness News so he can join in on this. But besides that, folks, in our first news story, and in sad news for you Schoolhouse Rock fans out there, Jake Sheldon, the man who was behind such great songs from Schoolhouse Rock as Conjunction Junction and I'm Just a Bill, unfortunately died this week at the age of 88 years old. And I, for one, as a little kid, was old enough to appreciate the fact of how cool, Schoolhouse Rock was as a kid. And not my favorite song in the playbill, though, was I'm Just a Bill, by the way that they treated the guy on Capitol Hill steps. But I did love Conjunction Junction due to the fact that I was a big fan of Trains. So definitely appreciate the fact that this guy was able to bring his musical goodness to that show. And not to mention, folks, he was also a part of the Merv Griffin show for well over 18 years. That says a lot. It really does. And besides being a part of the Merv Griffin show for well over 18 years, folks, this man was able to make music with several people along the lines of Tom Waltz, Frank Sinatra, the Monkees, and was even a part of probably one of my favorite cop series ever, known as Dragnet. And I don't remember seeing him in the series, but I got a feeling he definitely played a vital role during it. And we here at Music Village would like to say, besides the litany list of accomplishments this man has made, for Jack Sheldon, may your work live on forever, and may you forever rest in peace. And in other news, for you My Chemical Romance fans out there, and you didn't know that they were back together and doing concerts again? Well, I have some good news for you. Because of a fan out there, and yes, a fan that goes by the name of Jesus Hayes, would be able to do a full-on documentary of the return of My Chemical Romance from their from their live concert in California in 2019. And I, for one, who was a fan of My Chemical Romance from the song This Is Not a Scene, It's an Arms Race, and even the song I'm Not Okay, definitely glad these guys are back on the music scene once again. And for those who wants to try to capture tickets for this said show, head on over to the website only known as consequencesofsound.net to check it out for yourselves. And oh, for those who wants to check out the live concert of their beautiful return, you can head on over to the YouTube page of one man only known as Jesus Hayes to check it out for yourselves. And according to the Maestro, just in case I got the spelling wrong for it, head on over to consequencesofsound.net to check out the concert as well. And trust me, it's absolutely beautiful. So go watch it. Well, after this, because in other music news, folks, For you LL Cool J and Q-Tip fans out there, I have some exciting news for you. Because it's been announced that LL Cool J is going to be working on a couple of secret tracks alongside with his friend of Q-Tip from A Tribe Called Quest. And if my memory serves me correct, this would be one of the first times these two would ever work together, and they're both from the 80s. How in the world this was not possible these two got together sooner, but I'm really glad it's happening right now. And LL Cool J would say the following on his new collaboration alongside with none other than Q-Tip. I just started recording new music produced by my little bro, Q-Tip, the Abstract, and would write a whole bunch of 100s in wingding form, which tells me it's gonna be good. And for any of you out there who wants to catch up on all of the cool things that I got a feeling it's gonna happen in the studio with LL Cool J, and especially with Q-Tip while he's on tour, you can head on over to the Consequences of Sound page, only known as consequencesofsound.net, to check it out for yourselves, especially with the concert tour that Q-Tip will be a part of for the 4X Bar Festival in the Coachella Valley. And with all those regular news stories from last year heading into the new year out of the way, folks, you guys out there know what time it is. It's time for us to go into another new year starting, decade starting edition of Video Game News. And in our first video game news story, for you Domino fans out there, the Domino King is at it again, and this time he would decide to do a 55,961 piece work on All Might from My Hero Academia. Now, unfortunately, he would say he would not be able to do All Might justice with all the dominoes he had, so he also decided to include his weak alternative form known as Toshihiro Yaga, or Yagi, a part of the piece as well. And I think I say for everybody out there who's fans of this show, you definitely did it justice, and the fact that it took you well over 2 weeks of trying to make this domino piece possible, we appreciate it. And if anybody out there is wondering why is this video game news, well folks, the fact that this is an actual video game, we decided to include it in for the year to give the Domino King the proper respect he deserves. And if any of you out there want to check out this cool piece of art in domino form, you can head on over to the YouTube page of one man only known as the Domino King to check it out for yourself. And in other video game news, for you fans out there of Super Smash Bros. Melee and always wanted that experience in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, well, I had some good news for you. Because it's been announced that for this week, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is holding a special Smash Bros. Melee event, a part of the game, which would be a Melee Circa tournament that will require you to use all of the original characters from Super Smash Bros. Melee. Now, unfortunately for you fans out there who wanted to use the same tricks and different forms of abilities from Melee in this said tournament, unfortunately you will not be able to do wave dashing or wobbling to help you out in this said tournament. Basically, it's the regular characters from Super Smash Bros. Ultimate that you can use that are Melee characters that are in the tournament itself. And I, for one, despite the tricks you can't use during this, will try to get my hands on it so I can be Ganondorf to stomp the living daylights flag tag out of any of the original Smash Bros. Characters, including the Ice Climbers. You know what you did, and you can blame Mr. Logan for all of this. my teacher, or the teacher I never had that my sister had, who used ice climbers and always tried to beat me with them, but not today. Not today. So for any of you out there who wants to participate in this special tournament, it starts as of January 3rd all the way until January 6th. So don't burn daylight if you want to participate in it. And make sure when you boot up the game, you're online and ready to rock. And in other video game news, for you fans out there who are still chomping at the bit for the brand new Animal Crossing New Horizons, Tom Nook would advertise something to you called, apparently, the Desert Island Getaway Package. Or the Deserted Island Getaway Package. Thanks for the correction once again, Maestro. And on this Deserted Island Getaway Package, it shows you actually modeling the island to your own beauty in its own way, with not only Isabella in the crowd, but several people from the Animal Crossing universe there as well, oohing and eyeing at this thing that Tom Nook is gonna show you that chances are gonna cost you well over 5 million bells. And if you don't think Tom Nook is capable of pulling out that sort of price tag for you to pay for the next 5 years, trust me, if you ever played any of the prior Animal Crossings, he's capable of something that devious. So before anybody's eyes start to swell up and their mouth starts to water for this, make sure you know how much it's gonna cost before jumping in head first. And for any of you out there who wants to check out this island paradise for yourselves, you can head on over to the Twitter page of one woman known as Isabel, aka Animal Crossing, to check it out for yourselves. And hopefully Kid Cat is on that island too, and it's not that expensive. And I guess with that said, for the first time for this decade and year, you have all officially been brought up to speed. And I guess with that said, we might as well head back into this music, and when we return, we'll be back with the final segment for the first music village of this new year and decade, right after this. So don't get caught in crosstown traffic just yet, folks, and stay tuned.